Now let us discuss interiors of the car. As I said earlier, we were not really allowed to picture or create a videography of the interiors. This is so because, as I said earlier, that this car is going to launch in the month of May. So this was more like get a glimpse into the car kind of experience for us. We were not allowed to show the exteriors of the car, the interiors, and could just drive the car for about 8 to 10 kilometers. So now I'll tell you a little about the whole experience that I felt while I was inside the car. One of the experience that I went through was the excellent and the splendid looking touchscreen that you basically get inside, and it is completely digital cluster. Now there are 3 drive modes such as the economy, city and sports, and I tried all of them, and they give an excellent feedback according to the kind of mode that you're into. Of course, both the front seats are fundamentally ventilated, and this is an amazing part. Of course, one amazing inclusion, one splendid superb inclusion that you get in this car is the wireless charging in the middle row. This is just amazing, mainly because of the fact that this is first of kind in the segment. It doesn't really come in all other cars. You just get a wireless charging in the front seat or for the front seat passengers. Another great thing is that there are 2 USB ports in the third row. There is a bit of insufficient under thigh support in the third row, and the third row is mainly meant for people who are short heighted or for kids. So if you're about 5'3", 5'4", that's probably the row for you that you can accommodate yourself into. But at the same time, if you're about 5'9", 5'10", or taller than that, third row passenger seat is not really the place for you inside of this car. Another thing that I found pretty good or of high utility is the inclusion of USB port for every row. Whether it's the front row, middle row, or the last one, you get USB ports for all the rows. Even though we were told that the car would have Bose speakers, because Creta also has, there was no badging, there was no branding on the speakers of Bose that we could probably observe. So therefore I'm not quite certain, but I'm hoping that the car will have Bose speakers. The base variant will get a 17-inch alloy wheels instead of the top variant which gets 18 inches. There are leather accents that are present on the door trims as well. So now I'll share with you my driving experience. The seats are pretty comfortable, that I have to clearly admit, and not only that, they are also spacious. Barring a slight crunch in the third row, I don't think you will face any sort of issue in terms of space in this car. Though let me keep my final take on it for next month, because that's when the car is actually going to launch, and we've been told that we could not share each and every detail about this whole experience. So I have tried to share as much as I could, and obviously I'm trying to do that now as well, because that is when the car, as I said, is going to launch and is available for and will be available for sale for general public, all of us of course. So I could only drive the car for about 8 to 10 kilometers, as I stated earlier as well. Therefore it was, as I quoted earlier, was more like a glimpse into the whole experience of the car, not quite the comprehensive take that one could gain from it. Therefore we are not really in a position to unveil things which we were kind of verbally told. So the car is exceptionally stable at low speeds. There is this 2.0 liter noiseless engine that you get in this car, which is of course third generation. But when you go beyond the 3000 rpm, the engine noise is noticeably audible, so you get sort of a feedback for the passenger, that is obviously the driver that is sitting inside. You get a feedback from the engine, but at lower speeds it is absolutely noiseless. So I got the opportunity to drive this car for about 8 to 10 kilometers, I've stated earlier as well, and so I pushed the limit and put the car beyond 100 kilometers an hour, and the stability was superb. Just to check that, I notched up that speed. During the turns, the car looked confident and maintained stability as well. The mileage that was visible on the MID was 10 kilometers per hour, which to me is on the lower end because of the kind of refined engines that we are getting these days. It's a totally different era that we live in. Individuals expect cars with greater efficiencies ranging from 15 to even 30 kilometers an hour, especially when we are transitioning from using petrol and diesel cars and maybe even moving into electric cars. So the lower the cost of running, the better for of course the buyer. Now my final conclusions about this car is, as I still need to take a whole comprehensive sort of drive, and of course have a look at the car without camouflaging, even though I did during the evening time last night, but I would love to see this car without a camouflage for a greater amount of time, of course. So I really do not have a great idea about the pricing, but the way we were communicated about this matter was the fact that it could range between 13 to 19 lakh rupees, which is of course ex-showroom. So it has of course the same sort of engine that you get in Creta, but this is a next generation engine, as you can see the details of it on the screen. So if I missed out on anything, please let me know. I think I would reserve my thoughts for this car for next month, as I said earlier, but I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section. Please do let me know, and if you have any sort of criticism, please do let me know that as well. I would like to improve that too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Jai Hind.